Hey there and welcome back to Remnant 2. We're taking a look at Quickdraw. It's a gunslinger skill that just got updated. It got a buff. And I mean, I already really like the skill, so now it's just better. So the thing I like is just very nice now. Basically, they increase the damage. I don't remember the percentage. I want to say 50%, but that might be completely made up. And it has 2 charges now, which is pretty cool as well. I really like that. So on the whole, I mean, it's just better. Right, so I went ahead and I slapped on my cooldown reduction build I had done before, and I had used the quick draw ability as well. So we've stacked a whole bunch of cooldown reduction. We're up to a minus 80% on our skill cooldown. So the cooldown for our quick draw is 8 seconds, which is pretty nice. Now the bad thing was this, right? It has 2 charges, which is sweet, because you can basically go into a fight and quick draw twice in a row, do a lot of just auto aim damage. That's the most amazing part of it that I really like. You just quick in, do it again and again, right? But the bad thing is the way the chargers work, they don't have 2 individual timers going on at the same time. So see how we've charged it up 1. If we wait halfway and then we use it, you would hope that the second charge would be halfway charged, but it's not. It resets the whole thing. So you have to stack them up 1 at a time. So if you use your 1 charge while it's still trying to get the second one back, then it's right back to square 1. So that part's pretty frustrating, but the potential to have 2 charges to kind of quick double burst something is kind of nice as well. I do like that. In addition to that, the overall cooldown reduction build, I mean, it just gives you a lot of access to just constantly use skills. I've got the handler as my secondary because he does give us the increased ranged skill and melee damage now, so it got that. And the dog, since we've got some skill damage increases and skill cooldowns, our dog is doing more damage. He's got the guard dog skill because I want him to take aggro. We are very squishy with my whole setup here, so I want him to take as much aggro as possible. That way I don't get completely messed up, and it gives us damage reduction. Now, to actually make the build work as far as cooldown stuff goes, this is what I've chosen to do. It's leaned very heavily into it. My choice in amulet is the Jester's Bell that increases our mod and skill cast speed, and then when we do use a skill or mod, it increases our damage for 15 seconds. I really like this one personally because we're constantly using the skill, so we're constantly getting that 20% damage increase. But if you're not really interested in something like that, you could also run the Legacy Protocol. This one gives you that skill cooldown and increased skill duration. We don't care about skill duration for Quick Draw, but it does help with our guard dog ability, so it allows you a better upkeep and stuff like that. So you could do something like that. If you're looking for more skill damage, the Silver Ribbon will work for you. It does skill damage by 25%, and then you get haste. And since we are constantly using our skills, which, I mean, our Quick Draw 8-second cooldown, this thing gives us haste for 15 seconds. We will constantly have haste going on. But even if you don't have any of those 3 things, I mean, you could run whatever damage thing you would like to do, right? I mean, if you just want to go baseline Anka powered for just a flat 15% damage increase across the board so that your gunplay is better, melee weapons are better, skills better, all those things, mod, that's also a very reasonable choice. If you're interested, Hyperconductor is interesting as well, so you would have 4 charges of Quick Draw, but the cooldown is a lot longer. If we put it on, we go from this 8-second cooldown up to a 28-second cooldown, which, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, isn't necessarily a lot, and you do have 4 skill cooldowns, but if that's what you want to do, I would highly recommend going with the Sapphire Dreamstone or the what's the loop called? It's a skull loop, skull something devoured loop, so that critical hits can reset all of your cooldowns, so that you could get a lot of mileage out of it there. But I personally don't really like the Hyperconductor, so I'm not going to use it. I just like the Jester's Bell. Plus, that cast speed makes a huge difference between how long it takes you to shoot all your bullets in the Quick Draw. After that, Burden of the Stargazer, 15% cooldown reduction. Burden of the Rebel, 15% skill cooldown reduction. Black Pawn, 10%. And then I take Stream Coupler as my last one. You can kind of play around with the last ring slot depending on what you want to do. But I like this because we're using our skills a lot. It gives us 10% of our health back, which helps to counteract the Burden of the Stargazer. Inside of our relic, there is skill damage, skill cooldown, and health. And then as far as traits go, since I have the dog, I've got Blood Bond and Rugged to keep my dog up a little bit better, as well as maxed out expertise, so that, of course, we've got as much cooldown as possible. Gun-wise, right now I just have the Black Maul on. It's got time lapse in there because I was liking, because we're squishy, being able to lock down a bunch of dudes at once and then slow them is kind of nice. Western Classic, because we're just a cowboy right now, it fits in pretty nice. It's got Hot Shot, it's got Extender. I kind of like Extender in there, though honestly I think I'm going to swap that out for something else. I think I'm actually going to go Twisting Wounds. We've got the dog to do Twisting Wounds. Being able to get random weak spot and critical hits, I can get some pretty decent bleeding effects on the enemies. We are outside of whatchamacallit right now. Magister Dulain. So we're going to fight Dulain. We're going to see how it goes. Like I said, we're very squishy. Our damage reduction is at 41%, and we're playing on Apocalypse, so it's a little scary. We've only got 149 health, which is also not a huge amount for Apocalypse, especially if you're not going to have a lot of damage reduction. But on the whole, just clearing out random things and just kind of playing and having fun, it's just a fun build to do because it allows you to use your skill a lot. It just auto aims in, having 2 charges, having it doing more damage is just, overall, it's just fun, right? We will see how this goes, though. I like to start by clearing out my magazine, followed by the quick draw, because that will automatically reload it. And then we can go with a fire, start shooting it some more, followed by another quick draw. But see, like, we were almost at our second charge ready, but because I went ahead and I, shot the thing, I don't have my second charge ready. So really, outside of that initial burst, for the most part, you're just going to have to let it do its thing. I'm going to wait a second here, though, to get the double burst. It's going to be better for us at that point. And then 1 and 2. Yeah, it's okay. We're working away. Thick Skin and Regenerator. Make sure we're using our dog's ability to, keep giving us damage reduction, making sure we're keeping the enemies off of us. I need to make sure I'm listening up for the different sound effects that the boss does. I was hoping the dog would keep the aggro of the boss a little bit more, but we are really laying into it, so it makes sense. Activate the fire. We're getting a second charge going. We're going to wait for a good opportunity to unload, and then once that one goes, once that's gone, then we go. Except, I didn't hear that second body going, so I shouldn't have used the skill there. And obviously, it's one-shotting us. It's going to one-shot you a lot of the time anyways. All right. I switched my dog skill. We're going to go back at it, but I'm going to try out. We've got a attack dog on. So we're going to get another 20% damage bonus, which when we use our Jester's Bell, right, that's going to be activating this is going to basically give us 40% more damage. So I'm kind of curious to see if that feels pretty good. I probably should have used it before I actually walked into this fight, but that's okay. There we are. Pow. And again. That is quite a bit of damage. Roll over. Hot shot. Now, bad thing is I got to kind of watch for. I still have the stream coupler on, but I do have to watch my health because using the skills can be, if I'm using them back to back like this, losing health anytime I take damage, it can be pretty scary. Keep circling around, get everything loaded up. Yeah, there we go. It's chunking away. We're doing all right. Yeah, I mean, 682, what's it, 6 times? I can't remember how many times that quick draw actually shoots. So you're talking about nearly 700 damage 7 times. It's a pretty good chunk amount of damage, right? Activate our dog ability too. The good thing as well, kind of a low-key kind of buff with using the attack dog thing, is that your dog deals more damage. I mean, that's something I sometimes forget about. It's just by having the dog, he's doing damage as well. So not only are we getting the damage bonus from the handler, I mean, the dog is actively dealing damage as well. It's not a huge amount, but I mean, it is damage, right? You cannot, ignore it. And look, we just auto-aimed, cleared out that one random dude that came out. He didn't even have a chance. See, we saw that big wind-up on Dulain there, so we were able to, wait for our chance to actually do it. Now, I'm being very cautious here using my skill because I don't want to get clipped by a body again, and I didn't hear it that time. I'm too busy. I can't hear it because I'm talking, and I hear myself talking, and I just, unfortunately, can't hear the sounds. Something I'm going to show you here, I think that could be pretty fun, is the probability cord. Probability cord increases critical damage by 30%. So every shot of our quick draw is a critical hit. So that's just a solid 30% damage increase for that. So, I mean, it ends up doing a lot of damage. I can't believe that clipped me. 834 versus the, 687 something, right? So, it's pretty impressive, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a pretty big number. Now, the scary thing is, we don't have that stream coupler anymore because that's what I replaced there, which means every time we use a skill, it's just health off of us and we're not actively regenerating. But I do have the Tranquil Heart on, so that is giving us regeneration as well. And we've got some lifesteal. We've got the regrowth as well. So there is, some health regeneration going on. And you can see that we're pretty okay right now. As long as we don't do anything too crazy, we should be fine. Whoop. I do need to be careful, though, because I have been getting clipped by these bodies like nobody's business. Yeah, it's not been great for me. I'm really having to play it safe here because I'm tired of getting hit in the face by a random projectile. There we are. It's good damage. I like it. I like it a lot. Is it the most efficient? You know, like, nah, obviously not, right? I mean, y'all have seen some crazy builds doing, you know, just 2-second one-shotting crazy people, right? But this is just a different way to do it. It's fun, and you don't even have to do it on Apocalypse, right? You could totally be doing this on, you know, whether it's Veteran or Nightmare, whatever have you that you're trying to do, and just have a good time, right? And another benefit with this whole setup that I really enjoy is just the ammo efficiency, because guess what? You're not actively shooting a ton because you're using the skill, and then with a gunslinger as our primary, guess what? It is, you know, it's giving us that infinite ammo. It's reloading our guns so that we don't have to worry about that ammo. And that being said, right, I've been, like, talking about how I'm, like, squishy, and I've been going down, right? But what I could be doing is put the handler as my primary, and then guess what? Every time I go down... Oh, I messed it up. Oh, that was close. Every time I go down, the dog will pick us up, so that then we don't have to worry about that fact that I'm just so squishy. And yeah, the ammo might be a little bit worse, I suppose, but I mean, frankly, this was you know, it'd be fine anyways. Like, I don't really need that much ammo or anything like that, right? Yeah, look at that damage. Fun, fun, fun. Now we just gotta finish this thing. Kind of wish the dog was fighting that. I also did not realize my dog was so hurt, so we're gonna use our relic now to top her off, and then keep going. Though, I mean, really, what I should have been doing at the very beginning anyways was trying to use the relic a lot more to keep the dog doing more damage. It would also increase our range damage, but the problem with it is we have one of the burdens, the burden of the rebel, which makes our relic uses pretty slow. Hence why I have the Tranquil Heart on, because, you know, the Tranquil Heart is just a passive. It just does its thing. I'm going to run around, though, and we are going to... I'm running back through the Shadow Gallery, because I kind of want to show you guys just it clearing up random dudes. It's just so satisfying to just kind of auto-hit scan, like, gone. Just gone. No more, he's just dead, right? I don't even know if hit scan's the right word. It's the first thing that popped into my head. But, you know, you can also think about the fact that you can hold it and do a precision shot, you know, like that, for nearly 5,000 damage. And then just quick brings people down. It's so satisfying. And I can just run away, and I'm like, oh no, bad guys. Ow. Lots of damage. And this is where I do usually really like having the guard dog ability, just because he can, you know, take that aggro from me, which is really satisfying, and I don't have to worry about having guys on top of us. Now, this place kind of sucks because of these armored dudes. If you notice, like, he's not getting a lot of critical hits because it has to hit them in just the right spot for it to actually happen. So, in a way, using the probability cord is not super amazing for this because we can't get those critical hits. So, some other options you could do outside of, like, your standard, you know, burden of the destroyer or something. There's also the burden of the Sciolist, right? That one? Where is it? That one. Increases our mod and skill damage, so dog will get damage increased too, but we lose ammo reserves, except we've got increased ammo reserves by 50%. So really, you know, we're already counteracting the burden of that. So that is just a flat 15% damage increase to our skills, which is a lot of fun as well. Some other things too, if you're not worried about, you know, the actual like damage of it, or maybe you are, it's critical hits increase skill damage. So like we could run that and be getting increased damage from our thing. Like, let me double check to make sure it works, because I haven't actually tried it with skill. I assume it will. Yep, sure does. We got 6 things. So it actually triggered, even though not all of those were critical hits, I guess because the game knows they're supposed to be, you know, that quickly starts stacking up to give us a 15% damage bonus, which is really nice, you know, and no strings attached outside of, you know, the time limit. And look at that. They start just coming around the corner, and you just start clearing them up a little bit. Ooh, we got ourselves an aberrant dude. I do need to take care of him. Why does he have 4 freaking modifiers? That is crazy. All right, we're getting everybody kind of buffed up Activate our dog ability. We do need to dodge that. Let's clear him up. Alright, dog ability active now. Oh, is it that why? Because he's a little freaking glob? Is that why he's got 4 deals? No, thank you. I'm trying to get a hot shot in there so I can start doing some damage over time and stuff. I split the damage a little bit. We're going to use our relic now because we need our dog topped off. We need us regenerating as well. We got to be careful here. We need to keep an eye out for more thunderclap things. The minions are going to be pretty annoying for this kind of setup because we can't specifically aim at guys if we don't, you know, charge it like this. So it'll go off and it'll hit lots of random dudes when really we want it to hit just that guy. Just making sure I stay away from those. Activate more dog ability. There we go. Burning them down just fine. Look at that. Maybe I can... I don't think it'll freeze them. Yeah, I didn't think so. Oh, I don't need that to happen. Yeah, so, I mean, the Crimson Dreamstone, I mean, that seemed to work fine there. Obviously, like, we're getting lots of critical hits, so it's constant damage. Other choices you could maybe think about would be, I don't know, whatever you like. And this last one is just a flexible slot, I find. So depending on what you're looking at. I mean, go some more with the Sapphire Dreamstone so that you can maybe more constantly get the second charge of it back would be really nice. And you can even kind of see it, like, trigger when you're hitting guys. Sometimes. Didn't see it there, not necessarily. It's got some... The gunsling, if he didn't move behind that railing, the Quickdraw does have some reasonable range too. Like, you can hit him from a fair distance away, and once you get used to it, you'll know what you can play around with. You just gotta be a little careful, because sometimes if they fall out of the range, all you're gonna do is shoot a wall, and that's not gonna help you out at all. But really, other than that, I mean, that is the setup. It's basically, it's just a skill cooldown build. You just maximize your skill cooldowns, and then do Quickdraw, man. Quickdraw is a lot of fun. This is obviously me trying to min-max it a little bit to just use that as my primary form of DPS. But even without it, having 2 charges is always just going to be nice, regardless of whether you're always going to have the 2 charges or not. More damage on it, more charges. It's just a puff. So thank you guys for checking it out. Hope you kind of enjoyed it. You know, give it a cooldown build. A lot of fun. Mess around with Quickdraw, dude. Just auto aim is great. But until the next one, take care.